When will these devs learn? Now, I admit, I am Unk. Legitimately, I think my Roblox account is older than some of the people who play Deepwoken. I made my Roblox account before some of y'all ever left your dad's dick. So, I know what I'm talking about in the sense that I've been around the Roblox community for a long time, and there used to be a game that I absolutely loved. And unfortunately, over time, that studio, they kind of lost track of what they were doing. They lost the plot. And I think Deepwoken is going down that same path. The studio I'm talking about, of course, is Carib Bros, the creators of Shinobi Life and Rel Seas, formerly known as BB Studios. Now, back in 2015, they made the game NRPG, later known as Nindo OA. This was the first time a Naruto game got mainstream popularity on the Roblox platform. I mean, this is legitimately where a lot of your favorite content creators started making videos. Nano started YouTube on NRPG. Infernasu started YouTube on NRPG. Seiji4 started not long after in the following title. Hell, I used to work for these people. I was a community manager. I could best summarize that as being a senior mod for Deepwoken, and I was also responsible for giving bug reports that I found testing. Like, I was really involved in this game. They had cultivated an incredibly loyal, I'd say decently sized community. A couple thousand people would play the game every single day. And that's mostly because of the combat. It was incredibly balanced. Even though there were a lot of fun, crazy things in the game, the main go-to content was a form called OACB. You would use the main elements, a mobility move, and then one special move of your choosing. And it was incredibly fun. A lot of the success from the game came from a low skill floor, I should say. It was incredibly easy for anyone to pick up the game and have fun fighting. But the skill ceiling was incredibly high. If you took the time to master these mechanics, it truly was skill versus skill. You would never lose, no matter what the other person had. One big thing that tied the combat together is that even though there were special moves like Geki Genkais, like your Rinnegan, your Sharingan, Byakugan, the god moves like the Otsutsuki, Yin and Yang, all of that stuff, it came with balance. Let's say you wanted to use the Rinnegan. You can. It's super fun and it's super strong, but you can only use the Rinnegan, and you get one or two skills from having it. It kept the game balanced in the sense that you couldn't just spam crazy moves. You could have one build-defining Geki Genkai, but that was it. Over time, however, especially with the release of Shinobi Life, the developers at Carib Bros sort of lost the plot, and it got to the point where you can have everything. Sharingan, Rinnegan, Susanoo, all the tailed beast, everything, summonings, rituals, everything. You can have everything. It was all about just spamming really big, really strong, fast, colorful, cool moves. And while the gameplay experience suffered dramatically, that appeals to children. That appeals to a wider audience. So they saw massive spikes in players. I'm talking 70,000 people every day. The PvP was nonsensical. It was almost impossible to play. But it looked fun. And it felt good to just shoot tailed beast bombs all over the place in the middle of Susanoo armor and just kill everybody. The point I'm trying to make there is that I see Deepwoken following the same trend. When Deepwoken first came out, it was very grounded. Even in the color scheme, it was much darker in gray. It was all about M1s, getting in close, chipping away at one another. Your mechanical skill was the main decider of who would win. And I'm not saying the game is skillless, but it suffered from that power creep. It suffered from that out-of-control addition of content. Where it's, fuck it, everybody can have everything. Giant colorful monsters that all do a bar. Mobility so you can cross the map in seconds. Legendary weapons with insane unparryable crits. It's not good for the game's PvP. And we all recognize that. But the thing about that kind of content development is that it works for kids. And that's why we've seen Deepwoken grow massively in the last year. We're getting 20k average players on weekends. without any major update in almost 2 years. Like, it really works. But you have to sacrifice your artistic vision, and you have to step away from what the game was always meant to be. Normally, it doesn't really hurt that bad. Deepwoken is unique in the sense, however, that the overworld, the adventure, the game mechanics, the permadeath, everything is centered around this being a very grungy, grounded game. And that's just absolutely not what it is anymore. So there's this dissonance between gameplay and game features, where it's, okay, well, I get into a fight in the depths. It's supposed to be a fight for my life. Like, it's supposed to be dangerous. I can fly. I can either, my mobility is so insane they can't touch me, or they have something insanely cheese. Let's say insanity pots, gravity field, quad attunement like permafrost prison, shadow vortex. It has completely lost the plot. It's terrible. It sucks. It doesn't feel fun unless you're the one using it. So when everybody's running this nonsense, the greater gameplay as a whole suffers, but it appeals to more people. It makes money. I'd hate to see this continue, as it sort of reached a breaking point where it used to be, you would say that builds were the main determinant of whether or not somebody would win a fight, and people would tell you, no, it's all skill. I think we've all gotten to a point now where it's, yeah, the better build wins. And if you are on the same cheese cancer build, then skill can affect it. But for the most part, if you don't have a good build, you're just fried. I hope that we get a massive balancing update, but I don't even know if that would fix it. A lot of the player base, when you look at the new join percentage, has come post verse 2. Something like 60 or 70% of the players on the game currently joined in the last year and a half. They don't know what Deepwoken used to be like. I'll bet a lot of them never played Rogue. So for us older players, when we say we need these things nerfed, we need the rarity of items changed, we need things to go back to normal. For us older players, the return to normalcy that we're hoping to see, for new players who have never experienced it, that would just be a nerf. It would just be making the game less fun, because this is all they've ever known. The devs have sort of backed themselves into a corner, especially with Conquest and World Events being the next big updates, that they have to add stupid, broken, insanely unfair things as rewards. Otherwise, it's just not going to measure up to the content they've already made. And why am I going to play the new content when the reward isn't even worth using, you know? It's this terrible gameplay loop where the only way to break out of it is hard nerfs and hard gameplay features, like gutted across the board, but that will cause a massive uproar. It's sort of they lose no matter what they do. And people in the community have said it for years. I've said it. I've been a longtime critic of the game of, hey, a lot of the things you're adding, starting with instance content, doesn't fit in Deepwoken. This is not what the game was promised to be. It's not what you were making it out to be in the first couple months. And then a flip switch, and suddenly it's a sandbox, like MMORPG mixed hybrid mess. The game now is only roguelike in title. And I don't know. I don't have a solution. Nor is it my job to have a solution. I'm not a tester. I'm not a dev. The people who have these jobs need to do better at them, because how the fuck does half of these things even get into the game? It's going to end up like Kari Bros, and you're going to lose your artistic vision. You're going to lose your core fans that have been with you for years in the pursuit of a little extra money.